Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and those who are new to this channel, kindly make sure that you subscribe to this channel for the latest tech updates and the tech knowledge. So yesterday we covered about the statistic, like what statistics is basically. So today we're gonna cover about the types of the data. So talking about the types of data, there are basically two types of data. Okay, so talking about the types of data, there are basically two types of data. One is the discrete data, and the second one is the continuous data. Okay. So, talking about the discrete data first. So, discrete data is nothing but the countable values. Okay, it's I think so big. Okay, so discrete data is nothing but countable values and often integers. Okay. For example, the number of children in a family, it can be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, so number of cars sold per day or the dice rolls. For example, 1 to 6. You can basically count the discrete data. And talking about its application in an example in machine learning, like the predicting the number of purchases. Okay, it's termed as the discrete data. Okay, so talking about the continuous data, so continuous data is nothing but the measurable values with infinite possibilities within a range. So let me write that for you. Measurable values. Okay, measurable values. Talking about its example, for example, the height of a person, like it's continuous. Okay, it would be increasing with time. Okay, like the weight of a person, the time or the distance. Okay, and talking about the scales, the interval or the ratio depending on whether the zero is meaningful. Okay, so the key points you can say about the continuous data is that you can measure the continuous data. Okay, and talking about in the machine learning sense, like for example, predicting the prices of the house, we use linear regression. Right, we will be talking about linear regression in our later videos. So let's focus on this first. Okay, now there are basically few more types of data on the basis of the scales of measurement. Okay, so talking about there are another types of data which are qualitative and quantitative data. Okay, so there are basically two more types of data. Talking about the types, there are qualitative data and quantitative data. Talking about the qualitative data first, qualitative data is nothing but the categorical data. Okay, it is the categorical data. It's non-numeric and it gives the descriptive information. For example, the colors of the car, these are what, like red, blue, black. The feedback of the customer can be anything: satisfied, neutral, unsatisfied. The country names like the India, USA, Japan. Okay, and talking about the quantitative data, these are nothing but the numerical data. Okay, so for example, the age of customer or the temperature or the salary. Talking about in the machine learning sense, it is used directly in calculation, scaling and regression. And talking talking about the qualitative data, these are again of two types. So these qualitative data are again classified into two types. First one is the nominal data, and the second one is the ordinal data. And you might be wondering, what are these names? So nominal data is nothing but categories without the order. Okay, so I would be writing this: categories without order. Okay, For example, the gender, like the male, female, like the colors or the red, blue, green. Okay, so allowed analysis on this type of data is the count frequencies and the mode, and which we do not do on this data, like we do not calculate the mean or the median on this type of data because numbers don't represent the magnitude. The second type is the ordinal data, which is often referred to as the ranked order, and categories with a meaningful order but differences are immeasurable. For example, customer satisfaction, it can be poor, average, good, excellent. Okay, for example, the education level, the high school, bachelor's, master's, phd. So we usually do the median, calculate the median on this data or the percentiles on the data, and which we do not calculate on this data is the mean, because excellent isn't a numerical value, right? Excellent isn't numerically twice the good, so we don't calculate the mean on these types of data. Then talking about the quantitative data are again of two types. So let me mark that for you. So quantitative data are again of two types. First one is the interval, and the second one is the ratio. Now, let me tell you about this in detail. So, the interval data is nothing but the numerical values with equal intervals. Numerical values with equal intervals. While, for example, the temperature in Celsius or the Fahrenheit, and we calculate the mean and the standard deviation on these type of data, and what we do not calculate is the ratio, because like 20 degrees Celsius is not twice as hot as 10 degrees Celsius. You cannot say that. Okay, talking about the ratio is like true, zero, and full math, like the numerical values with equal intervals and a meaningful zero. Okay, numerical values. Okay, this was in the interval, 0 is arbitrary. 0 is arbitrary, and in ratio 0 is meaningful. Okay, so for example of the ratio is the salary. For example, rupees 0 means no salary. Age 0 years is equals to newborn, and we usually do this all statistical operations on this type of data. For example, the mean, the median, the ratios, and the regression. Now talking about in the machine learning sense, machine learning sense means what we do in machine learning on these type of data. For converting the nominal data, we use the one hot encoding. We use a technique known as one we use a technique as one hot encoding. Okay, for ordinal data we use label encoding. For the interval we use standardization. And for the ratio we use the scaling. For example, scaling for the regression models. Scaling for regression models. Okay, and for the continuous data we use the continuous data in our regression models, like predicting the house prices and the salaries, and the discrete data we use for classification and counting the models. So these was all about the types of data in every sense, like we have the discrete data, we have the continuous data, the qualitative, quantitative, nominal, audible. So I discussed it all, and hope you like the video. So meet you in the next video where I would be discussing about more about statistics. Till then, bye bye, and yeah, do not forget to like my video and subscribe my channel, guys.